Hey, what's up guys? Today's final video of the 20 win challenge on this channel. I'm going to show you the 20 and 01 with classic original lockbait. I asked you guys in the community poll which deck you guys want to see next, and a ton of you guys were saying you want to see classic lockbait. I got training over it, and I'm going to show you today why this deck is still viable. It's a great deck since 2016 the meta, and in 2020 after 5 years it's still viable. It's really hard to play, and I know still a ton of you guys are using it. So if you guys don't want to miss any videos of the future channel, don't forget to subscribe. Also, using critical mode in the game makes the channel better, and I would say let's jump to the games, and I'm going to show you how to play classic lockbait and still have success with the deck. So guys, here we're directly jumping into the first replay, and this was the game at 19-0. So I really want to get a dub. I didn't really want to joke this and get 19-3, and we're facing a really difficult matchup. Here's double hut. MK kind of fireball bait. And if you face fireball bait without fireball, you're struggling. If you face fireball bait without poison also, which is kind of great against the huts, you're struggling because Rocket isn't doing anything. So I think it's the worst spell in this matchup, because Earthquake at least gets well against the huts. Fireball just clean up all the stuff, or can't able like it's able to clean up some stuff at least. Lightning gets ton of value on top of the huts and also the cannon card. Yeah, and poison also against like all the spawn troops, but Rocket, I'm not really gonna play it. So what am I supposed to do? So against any type of hut spam deck, there's one really important card in your deck, and it's going to be the Princess.
Yay.
So my main goal in this matchup will be trying to outcycle his Fireball. There's no way that he's going to cycle as fast like with the Fireball then with our Princess. So what I really like to do is always trying to stack princes. This is what you want to do. You want to get a prince on the field, he's going to fireball, and then you just want to keep under pressure with goblin barrels, trying to outcycle him, and also cycling the prince for just 3 elixir, getting a really solid ground value, and killing his huts, because otherwise you cannot really do anything against them. So really like kind of controlling the game here. I'm just gonna go for locks, and you guys will see I am like really getting at least 6, 7, 8, 9 locks every single game on the opponent's tower, which is like kinda, if you think about like 10 locks, this is like 800 damage just from log chip. And also getting value on top of like cannon cards, a ton of Mega Knights, Mother Witches. So keep that in mind, that's really important. So as you guys can see, that's kind of unfortunate for us that we're like in such a bad spot here. We're going for a lock here, so we're kind of behind. You never really want to be behind with lock because it's like a control deck. It's not like mana control, but a different type of control deck. So I'm just going for my Ice Bird here, and now I'm just going to go for the barrel on top of the tower. He's not going to miss it. He's not going to miss it. So my Prince is just like kind of like doing a bad job. So maybe in this matchup I prefer to go for Prince's same lane, because as you guys can see, the Prince isn't really like targeting his speed because it takes so long. He also has the Mega Knight. Which isn't really that annoying because of the Phantom, there's no reset possibility. So what I'm going to do right now is really picture perfect defense. I'm just going for my Phantom here now. I'm just going to lock this back, really hitting all of the stuff. And the Fireball came way too late, so I knew he's like kind of low on elixir, and the really important thing is you want to outcycle him. So even if though you know that your opponent has the Barbarian Bull in hand, you want to throw in your Goblin Bull. Even if it's just like it's a -1 elixir trade. First, he cannot use his Barbarian Bull on offense or his log, an example. Second, you will outcycle him. So he's going in for the Barbarian Bull on top of your Goblin Bull. We always need to cycle 4 cards to get it back into your hand. So he's most likely going to play Furnace, Goblin Hut, Fireball, Flying Machine. This is like 4. Yeah, this is like just a ton of elixir you need to spend, right? Like with the Furnace, with the Goblin Hut, with the Fireball, with the Flying Machine. These are just like 4 elixir buildings, 4 elixir units, which is just way too expensive, and this is not really what you want to do. But if you guys see it like, or like the Goblin Hut cost 5 for sure, like just mess it up there. But I think you guys get my point, right? Goblin Gang 3, Log 2, Ice Bird 1, Knight 3, Princess 3, so you will get faster than him back to another Goblin Bull before he gets back to another Barbarian Bull. Also really important in this matchup is you really want to make sure that you're keeping your Prince alive, but not for all costs. So except your opponent is going to snipe with a Flying Machine, don't overcommit with Knight, Ice Bird, Goblin Gang. You not want to overcommit against a double hut spawner deck, because the biggest threat is for you, that was by the way a really big mistake here, the biggest threat for you is if he's able to get an elixir advantage and stacking his huts. If he's able to stack his huts and getting an elixir advantage, this is not really what I want to see. So we're just going to go for a lock here. And now I'm just gonna rock it here, finishing off this game. GG's well played. We're taking out 20-0 in this challenge. This was a 20 win. He wasn't the best player, but this like Mega Knight double hard deck is a deck which you face a lot in this challenge. So if you guys want to use your lock bait, I know a ton of you guys are still using lock bait. Need to make sure play your princess safe, out cycles the Barbarian Bull against the Goblin Bull. This is really what you need to do in this matchup. Another matchup which I'm going to show you right now is also a matchup which could be like interesting for you guys if you're still attempting to win challenge. By the way, let me know which deck you use, what was your high score. Everyone who watched this video, please let me know in the comment section what was your high score and also which deck did you play in the 20 win challenge. Really interested, and maybe you used classic lockbait. Let me know how many wins you'd get. How many wins you got with classic lockbaits. So if you face this lava clone deck, you first need to make sure that you always keep your prince alive, because prince is really important. You never want to really play your prince at the bridge in this matchup. This is just important. Like really important notice, there are like some matchups where you want to play the prince at the bridge, right? Against Packer decks, princess doesn't really matter. Against not really spammy decks, against golem, it's always great. It's like great against speedrun decks in general, I would think. Besides like Lava, because you kind of need to splash there. But against decks like Giant, against decks like Golem, Electro Giant, you can always play your Prince at the bridge, because they need to play something. You're really forcing out something which he doesn't want to play. Most of the time you get really like a big good trade, because if your opponent's going for Beirut on top of it, it's fine. He wants to play a Golem. He plays the big game. He wants to get a big push down. You just want to chip away, and you doing that with a prince at the bridge against Lavon. You don't really want to do it, and you guys gonna see that was my game at 19 wins, because he knows we actually absolutely hard counter him. But this is just generally against Lavon decks, against any type of bait decks. You always want to protect your prince. You always want to go for the prince in the back, and you always want to get as much value as you can. If you face this deck, you are always going to win as long as you're not misplacing your Infernator. I like to go with Infernator's high, but the only really thing, or like the only really timing when you go for Infernator's high is when your opponent doesn't have a splats in cycle, or you have to lock ready in case your opponent is forced to... What? What did I just say? When your opponent goes in for a skeleton army at the bridge, because if your opponent goes in for a skeleton army at the bridge, kind of blocks the Infernator, they will do it in the second time. First time, I think it's fine going for the Infernator who started the bridge, but after you're doing like it for the first time, he's most likely gonna predict it. So if he's going to predict it, it's also like smart switching up your Infernator, sometimes high at the bridge, sometimes low, because at the second time, if you went with a high Infernator first time, and you're going for a low Infernator, he most likely is trying to catch it with like bats in front, and then just waste it, right? So as long as you're keeping your Infernator alive, your prince alive, kind of making sure the Goblin Gang not get splashed away, also keeping your Ice Spirit getting really ton of volume on top of the lava pups get cloned. You should really easy win this game. Also, Goblin Bull Log is a really great combination on offense. You can always punish them with Knight Goblin Gang, especially when they don't have Skeleton Army in cycle, and Infernator gets huge positive illustrate. So this deck, this lava clone deck, is everywhere in the 20 win challenge, and you actually hard counter them. So guys, and I know only one of you hates Mega Knight, so this is a matchup which I actually face a lot. Packer, Bridge, Spam, Mega Knight, Bridge, and these are like the top decks in Clash Royale right now, which a ton of people are using. He's playing the Fireball variation, which gives us at first a disadvantage, because Fireball is way better cleaning up my Goblin Bull as like an option, and also it's way better against my Prince. If he has Lighting, my Prince gets way more value against him, so that would have been great. Also, another really like important fact is for sure, when he has Fireball, he cannot kill my Infernator. So I really keep in mind already, after seeing his cards, this is going to be good. So also, Dark Prince is way better than Ghost, because Dark Prince, like the invincible effect from the Ghost is really annoying. Like this Mega Knight Ghost push can be really annoying. Ghost like survives with 1 HP. The Mega Knight tanks, for example, it's just quite annoying. Also, Goblin Gang is way better against Ghost, because, I mean, the Goblin Gang is better against Dark Prince, because the Goblin Gang sees the Dark Prince and know what the Dark Prince is doing, right? The Ghost is invincible, so the Goblins are just really unfortunately splitting up, and also, like, going all together, and this is just really rough. Also, like, messes up the cycle, which is, like, really annoying. So if you face any type of Ghost decks, you really need to be careful with, like, don't really messing up the cycle. Normally, I really like to go in for Dark Prince, for Knight for Ghost, Bandit for, or Goblin Gang for Bandit, because they're just, like, the best counters you have. So, it's like a really cheesy game, or like really easy game, really slow game, so you don't really see any really huge aggression by me, just like cycling Goblin Birds, like trying to not overcommit in single exam especially. And you guys gotta see, I don't really use my rocket. So this is like really important notice. You have the rocket in deck for finishing games, yes. You also have the rocket in your deck to kind of like killing big defenses. Also against the queen, it can be really, really great when your opponent is going to predict it. But in some matches you don't really need to rocket, just like you kind of a safe card. Also makes the cycle faster, because if you're like trying to use a ton of rockets, it kind of messes up the cycle for 6 elixir, and if you don't use the rocket, you have like just 3 elixir cards and even 1 and 2 elixir cards. So just make sure, yeah, using rocket on defense can be a great play. Also like cycling rockets in some matchups, this is like the main reason of the deck, right? In some matchups you're not able to break through with Goblin Bowl because your opponent has like log, delivery. So there's your gonna be like goal. Just try to lightning cycle the to rocket cycle them out. So I'm just go for another barrel here, and as you guys can see, every time what I'm really like to do with this deck, this is a really important note, this is a really important key for you guys if you're trying to play classic lock at a great level. Every time I'm defending at the same time I'm throwing a barrel. Why? Because with the Inferno Tower and the Knight I really solid defenses, and I know even if I like doing a -3 elixir trade right now, as you guys can see, this is like a rocket opportunity here, taking the Ram Rider. Even I've like going for the -3 elixir trade, I'm always feeling comfortable going in for my Goblin Bowl most of the cases. If I'm not feeling comfortable, I'm feeling okay, I'm down elixir right now with the rocket, I'm not going to do it. But most of the time, while I'm defending, it's similar to 2.6 Hawk Rider. While I'm defending, I'm also trying to be aggressive, because most of the time they're going to overspend. They're going to try to punish you now with all of the elixir they had. So they go for the bandit, they go for the spam, and most of the time, even if a Baron Baron cycle, they're not going to have enough elixir because they're going all in and trying to get like a pressure on you and getting your tower, and they're not having enough elixir to go for defensive cards. Same with Hawk Rider. You're defending like Oyastro always does, or like the best 2.6 players in the world. They're defending really cheap. They get the example against Golem, and they know, okay, I've got easy defended that, and then they're just going to drop the Hawk Rider at 4 elixir, just being aggressive in the opposite lane, and most of the time they get a huge pull of elixir trade. They put a huge pull of damage trade, and the opponent is at 0 and is not able to defend it at all. So there was honestly a smart Barbarian Brawl on him, but at the same time it wasn't, because we can just go for another Goblin Bowl. And as you guys can see, we're still chipping away 100-200 damage every single time, and we are fine. By the way, tomorrow is going to be the sudden death challenge. Are you guys excited for the sudden death challenge? What are you going to use? This is going to be a good question. I immediately, when the challenge comes out, will drop a video, so make sure to subscribe to the channel to not missing it. It's going to start 10 AM German time, so at 10 AM German time, hopefully, I will be able, or like I will show you guys the best deck for this challenge, and we'll upload it directly to YouTube. It's interesting to see that. Yeah, would be cool for sure. It's like a different game mode. It's like way more casual than like the other challenges, global tournaments. But it's going to be interesting, right? I'm really interested to see that. Okay, by the way, the bandit is like really glitched right now. As you guys can see, like the dash is just absolutely insane. I played like against Mohammed a lot light before in some practice matches, and like the bandit just dashed like 10,000 times without a reason. So this is just absolutely insane. But you guys can see Inferno is like just cleaning up anything. So this matchup for sure, Inferno is way better than a Tesla, right? But against any type of control decks, and like that Ferto isn't really doing well, right? Against minor wall breaker decks, against minor cycle decks, minor poison decks in general, also Hawk Rider decks, Hawk Rider EQ decks, Lockbait decks. That Ferto isn't really doing well, but against big tanks, and there's some tanks out there, with the Golem on, the Lava Hound, the Packer, and yeah, most of the case the Mega Knight. This deck still does really well in the meta. If you guys don't want to miss any videos in the future, don't forget to subscribe. Also, using critical mod in the shop is highly appreciated, and I would say I'm out, I'm gonna go sleep, and I hope you enjoyed this episode.